next Under the Lights.
This is what high school football is all about.
You need a coach to get you motivated for this game. You shouldn't step on that field.
We go all access with two programs that just don't like one another.
Bull down, 95th Street.
The Trask Powell was lit for the Battle of Miami. Camping World Stadium hosted an instant classic.
But man, 25 years.
Yo, listen.
RPI for Dummies. Josh Wilson joins us to tell us what to expect this week.
Friday Night Lights, baby. Ain't nothing like it.
We got the best defense in day. Let's go.
Well, hello there. It's great to see you again. I'm Dave Aizer.
And I'm Kaylee Mizell. Welcome to Under the Lights, Florida high school football final driven by Honda.
It's week 7, and we had a couple of huge upsets that have rocked our top 5.
Plus, we have a huge big game feature featuring two of the state's top rivals. But first, let's get to our #1 ranked team. Lakeland hosting Centennial. Dave, when your car battery doesn't start, what do?
I get a jump because I need a spark.
Well, the spark for Lakeland, Fenley Graham. The offense didn't earn a first down in the first quarter, so dial up the 95-yard punt return, Mr. Fenley.
We've seen him do this before.
Yes, we have. The Future Gator score makes it 6-0. In fact, the Dreadnoughts scored 42 straight points from the second quarter on. DeMarcus Bowman, 7 rushes, 100 yards. Lakeland rolls 42-6.
The defending state champion Mandarin Mustangs with QB Carson Beck taking on St. Thomas Aquinas. The Raiders strike first. Anthony Hankerson with the touchdown run, 7-zip, St. Thomas. Now, Aquinas looking to add on, but a rare mistake leads to a scoop and a score from Mandarin's Jerome Jolly. 75 yards, and we're all, what, Kaylee?
7 up.
Indeed we are. However, that is all Mandarin could muster. St. Thomas scores on 4 successive second quarter drives, and they win 56-28.
A packed house as #3 Columbia takes on Madison County. And this game deserved the eyes. Madison County giving Columbia a run for their money. But in the second half, the Tigers came out roaring, scoring 19 unanswered points to win 32-21 over Madison County.
Huge rivalry game, and Miami turned out for it at the Trask. 10th-ranked Northwestern against 4th-ranked Central. Second quarter, no score. Central QB Travis Marsh hits Keith Brown for a 55-yard touchdown. He started the season with Gulliver Prep. # Florida transfer rules are whack. Second half, Travis Marsh finds Shimon Mateer for the 65-yard score. A taunt and a touchdown, 14-zip, but never taunt a bull or you'll get the horns. Freshman Teron Dixon finds Romello Brinson for the score. It's 14-7. Then Nathaniel Noel with the muscle through the Central D, and it's 14-13. Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years. Thank you, LL Cool J. Now, Teron Dixon with ice in his veins, this time connecting with the senior Marcus Fleming. 44-yard TD, 23-14, Northwestern on top. And Noel adds his second TD on the night. He had 82 yards in the fourth quarter. Northwestern wins the Commissioner's Cup and bragging rights for the year, 30-20.
Edgewater on the road to play national powerhouse Marietta in Georgia. Kanan Mobley threw for 320 yards and 2 touchdowns, but it wasn't enough. Marietta's defense got a couple of crucial turnover on downs to pull away with a 39-24 victory.
6th-ranked Chaminade Madonna taking on Doral Academy. Chaminade rocking the pink in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Brady Kelly, watch this. He finds Joshua Jenkins, who does a nice job coming back for the ball, and then an even nicer job changing directions and finding the end zone. 7-zip Lions. Thaddeus Franklin had a huge day for the Lions. 2 rushing touchdowns, including this 80-yarder. Chaminade Madonna rolls 56-7. 7th-ranked South Dade hosting South Ridge in Homestead. Look at Southridge trying to pull off a monster upset. I got you. George Young takes the inside handoff, breaks some tackles, and somersaults into the end zone. But after a 7-7 tie, South Dade would grab control of the ball game, avoid the upset, and remain undefeated with a 23-10 win.
In Central Florida, rivals Armwood and Plant City battle, and the Hawks converting well early on. Eric Wilson carries it in for the score. Then it's Charles Montgomery's turn to tote the rock. He dodges 2 Raiders and then gets into the end zone. Armwood has legs, but Cameron Ranson sends a laser to Aggie Hall. check out the moves on Hall as he gets into the end zone. Armwood shuts down the Raiders and leaves with a 35-0 victory. Our Advent Health Return of the Week is a tease of what's to come later in the show. American Heritage taking on Cardinal Gibbons. Gibbons' Antonio Spencer earns the love, going 99 yards for the touchdown. During the run, Spencer gets lost in a pack but breaks a couple of tackles, showing his grit. More on this game later in the show. This is the Advent Return of the Week.
Rockledge breaking out the winter gear, playing in the colder temperatures off Lake Erie at Cleveland St. Ignatius. Ignatius is one of the best programs in Ohio, by the way, 11-time state champs. But they've got 3 losses so far this year, so you're saying there's a chance? On the 6th play of the game, Griffin Hanna scrambles and he hits Jack Welsh, who weaves his way for the 42-yard score, 7-0 Ignatius. Rockledge comes back with the Auburn commit Ladarius Tennyson toting the rock for the 11-yard TD, and it is 7 apiece. But Ignatius answers again with Hanna finding Connor Camille for the 39-yard score. Hanna had 323 yards passing and 4 TDs as Ignatius rolls Rockledge by the final score of 42-7.
12th ranked Escambia taking on Pace. A.V. Smith finds JoJo Blackman for the touchdown. Escambia scores 35 unanswered points against Pace as they roll 48-7.
Speaking of pace, we're going to keep this pace up for the rest of the show, so take a deep breath and hydrate.
And give us a shout out. We want to hear from you what you think the biggest plays and teams are. Use the hashtag UTLFlorida when tweeting.
Still to come, American Heritage versus Cardinal Gibbons. And don't hold back, Coach.
I will say it's my 4th time in a row being the Parker. I don't know if people know that, but I'm going to put that out there. 4 in a row.
Under the Lights is driven by Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today. By Advent Health. Our goal is to help you feel whole. And by the Florida Lottery. It's your ticket. Claim it.
Here's the sights and sounds of the Jones Marching Band. We love bands, and they were getting it done in Camping World Stadium. Trinity Christian had an insanely tough schedule to start the season.
And things did not get any easier because they faced a dangerous Booker T. Washington squad at Traz Powell. Both teams all smiles before the game, but all business during it. The Conquerors are missing 3 starters, including their quarterbacks. So, cornerback Fred Davis, the 2nd-ranked prospect in Florida, takes over at QB. He scores and gets horse-collared, but it wasn't called for some reason. Booker T. answers a handoff to Shamar Paul, and he runs right up the middle of the field. Nobody's going to bring him down. In fact, nobody's going to touch him. More Booker T and a dazzling offensive play. Watch this catch by Ja'Cory Brooks. One hand, that's all he needs. Tornadoes win 20-7.
And the Orlando Health Catch of the Week, Ja'Cory Brooks' one-handed catch. He actually had 2 one-handed grabs in the game. Check him out, holding off the defender with one hand, hand in the basket with the other. The undefeated Lake Wales Highlanders traveling to the Lely Trojans. The Trojans' Stanley Hippolyte takes the snap, but big man and future Gator Javon Dexter wraps him up. The Highlanders' offense was led by Johnny Richardson, who ran for 184 yards, added 54 more through the air. No Trojan horse today. The Highlanders keep their freedom with a 16-3 win.
Big game in Orlando's Camping World Stadium between 2 top 25 squads who haven't met since 1994, Apopka and Jones. Avarius Sparrow had 2 rushing touchdowns on the day for Jones. If you don't believe me, fine, we'll just show you both. See? 2 touchdowns. Told you. Okay, that's the ground. How about the air? Check out another insane catch. Aramani Roan, wow, hauling in a 31-yard TD from Tyson Robbins. But Apopka had a little fight in them. QB Jaquan Lohman threw this 44-yard touchdown to Jalen Williams right before halftime. Lohman also ran for a touchdown, but it wouldn't be enough because Jones wins 21-12, and head coach Elijah Williams is all kinds of fired up about his team.
It's tough. We played a tough schedule. When you play these big schools like Edgewater and Parker, you know, you get some injuries, they can roll guys in. Us, I think every receiver, every guy that can run played DB tonight. every single body. We just had to throw them out there. We had guys never played, and that's what you get when you're a small school. You play these big schools, but I think it's helping us to get us ready for the playoffs, man. Hats off to Parker, Coach Wilson. He does a great job. It was a tough game, man, and we just hold on for our lives in the last 2 quarters.
For our Vico Painting Defensive Play of the Week, we turn to Jones' Dominic Hill, who reads the play perfectly and is rewarded for it. And check out the speed that he turns on. That is our Vico Painting Defensive Play of the Week.
Bartram Trail versus Ponte Vedra in a great game. Chad Dodson finds Brandon Chim over the middle with 3.5 minutes to go, and the visiting Bears lead 23-13. Sharks come back. Mikey Stevens up the middle for the touchdown. It's 23-20. Then onside kick, and it works. Ponte Vedra recovers, and it sets up this. On 4th and 9, RJ Glod rolls right and finds Aiden Lingenfelger right there. Sharks lead 27-23 with 70 seconds to go, and the fans are going nuts. Last chance for Bartram Trail. Dodson to Chim. It's a hook and lateral. A.J. Jones takes the pitch. He makes a great move, and he finds the end zone. 29-27 Bartram.
6-0 Lakewood hosting Sebring. A guy like Greg Spann II is never truly out of options. Why, you ask? Because the Spartans QB can always do this. 60 yards, and Spann makes it a 16-0 game. And this time he lets someone else do the work. Darrell Kelly powers through the blue streaks and is rewarded with wide open spaces down the sidelines. 30-0, Lakewood running away with it, literally. The final score, Lakewood rolls over Sebring 38-0.
There's something so cool about watching a kickoff return for a touchdown. I never get tired of that.
And if you never get tired of watching these highlights, make sure to visit utlflorida.com.
Coming up, the big game won't disappoint you. And what to know about the RPI rankings. Under the Lights is driven by Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today. By Vico Painting Contractors, a commercial painting company that delivers top quality work and excellent customer satisfaction. And by Orlando Health, a not-for-profit network of leading community hospital.
Here's a look at the top 10 teams in the state after Week 7 as ranked by Josh Wilson from FloridaHSFootball.com. Edgewater falling a bit due to a loss, but not a deep slide.
But in the top 5, some big moves coming from American Heritage and Miami Northwestern, both moving up 5 spots to 4 and 5 respectively.
All right, so let's bring in the man himself, Josh Wilson. Josh, we love what you did with the top 5, some movers and shakers, Northwestern and Heritage. Talk to us about that.
Well, look at both of these teams. Both got quality wins. American Heritage over Cardinal Gibbons and Miami Northwestern over Miami Central, both quality wins. I know some people are going to give me some questions of why I put a 2-loss team into the top 5, but again, if you look at their schedule, they deserve to be here, especially after the bounce back from 2 weeks ago when they lost on the road. This is a bounce back for them. It's necessary to put them back into the top 5.
Now, Josh, I know that RPI rankings are dropping this week. Can you break down what they mean and what all is included to get that RPI number?
I mean, the RPI number is the main focus you're going to want to focus on when those RPI rankings come out at 2 o'clock from the FHA on Tuesday, 2 o'clock on Tuesday. And it goes your winning percentage, your opponent's win percentage, and your opponent's win percentage. Those are the 3 key factors that make up the RPI. You're going to want to focus on the RPI number itself because that's going to determine who makes the playoffs, who doesn't. If the playoffs were to start today, that would be the determining factor right there. And the higher your RPI number, the better your chances are to get into the playoffs.
Okay, so for teams to get that higher RPI number, is there a magic number of wins that you think teams should really aspire to get?
Dave, to be honest with you, I think that magic number is 7, and that's just because I feel like for a lot of teams, depending on how they schedule, especially if you schedule on the weaker side of things, 7's probably a good number, especially when the factor of your win percentage counts as a good chunk of that RPI formula. You know, for some teams, it's not going to be necessarily to get to 7. You may be able to get to 6. You may be able to get to 5, like I think in Trinity Christian's case out of Jacksonville. They might be able to get to 5 wins and get in because they have played such a tough schedule this year. But again, it's a matter of who you are, how you scheduled as to the number of wins you really need. But I feel like for most teams, it's going to be 7.
Thanks, Josh. I know we'll lean on you and FloridaHSFootball.com as we get closer to the playoffs.
Vanguard Knights hosting the Carroll City Chiefs in Ocala. This is a visual effect, by the way. They don't run that slowly. After a Keon Jenkins pass to the 1-yard line, how about Travis Jeter over the top to find pay dirt? He finished with 152 yards and 2 TDs, the second of which coming right here. Now, Vanguard has a little something for the home fans. Steve Curry finds 6'4" basketball player turned receiver Des Daly, who scores, but it's not enough because Carroll City wins the game 27-14.
The St. Francis Panthers out of Baltimore, Maryland, facing off with the Venice Indians. And Venice would deny St. Francis a 5th shutout in 7 games. Ryan Overstreet finding Garrett French for the touchdown. That got fans hyped, but it was not enough to get past nationally ranked St. Francis, who rumbles past the Indians 49-7. Victory Christian's Kendrick Stewart locked in as they face Berkeley Prep. In the 4th, Berkeley's kicker Brooks Johnson for the field goal. It's good, and it ties the game up at 13. Victory in a crucial drive. Quarterback Preston Smith to Keyshawn Covington on a 3rd and 7 play. 35 yards, the score, and the game 19-13 on what they call the Superman.
I mean, we called a Clark Kent Superman play. The guys, we've been practicing it, had to pull it out, man. This is a great ball club. Those guys came out and executed, so I'm just so proud of these guys.
The Sandalwood Saints against the Reigns Vikings in Jacksonville. FSU head coach Willie Taggart dropping in via helicopter. All right, check out Saints running back Jeremiah Huntley breaks an arm tackle, a helmet comes off, and he finds the end zone. This game went into overtime. In OT, Sandalwood's Jeff Sims fires his 10-yard touchdown pass to Javonte Kinsey. Now, Reigns needs a touchdown. They turn to Jalen Griffin, and he delivers. Then they go for 2. They're not kicking the extra point. Griffin again, he scores, and let the celebration commence. Reigns wins 22-21, and the team has taken a victory lap. Keep on running, boys.
Dave, I think they took you literally. I just saw them running down Broward.
Well, listen, if they're going to hustle, then we're going to hustle too. 4th quarter coming up.
Still to come, the 10-year war between Gibbons and Heritage continues. The Florida Lottery Pick 4 Player of the Week is Jason Patterson from Ed White High School. The running back rushed for 187 yards on 16 carries with 3 TDs.
Here's a look at this week's Florida Lottery Pick 4 top performances. We've got some big-time performances, and this is going to be a tight race. 2 running backs and 2 quarterbacks. No love for the defense. I know I have my favorite, but I don't want to sway the vote. Remember, make sure you hit up our Twitter handle at Fox Sports FL with the hashtag UTLFlorida, and you can vote for this week's top performance.
A battle of 1A undefeated teams, Baker and Freeport. Freeport wearing the blue unis, Baker Gators in white looking for regular season win, number 35 in a row. Let's just say it was a track meet. Jay Brunson off to the races. He had a 53 and a 77-yard touchdown. The Gators death-rolled Freeport, who was without a couple of their main players due to illness, 55-12.
The Lafayette Hornets hosting the Dixie County Bears in a battle of 6-0 teams, and the home fans had plenty to cheer about, including running back Mario Thomas, who runs through the line and into the secondary, takes on contact before he scores. The Hornets used 4 rushing touchdowns to improve to 7-0, besting the Bears 27-16.
Rivalries between 2 teams can be fun, exciting to watch. For the winner, it's bragging rights. For the loser, it's a stain that is hard to get rid of. 9th-ranked American Heritage and 14th-ranked Cardinal Gibbons definitely know both feelings in this game. Gibbons has won 2 in a row over the Patriots. Now sit back and check out this week's big game feature.
Cardinal Gibbons High School is the defending 5A state champion in football. The team they knocked out of the regionals along the way to the title, the American Heritage Patriots. This game has been circled on the calendar for nearly a year for the black and gold. Gibbons head coach Matt Dubach knows his team is in for a fight.
So you got to make a decision when you go out of this locker room tonight what you want to accomplish here. You want to continue with the respect that you get, that the county gives you, that the state gives you, or we're going to go back to being the little brother.
Heritage's head coach is Dolphin alumni Pat Sertan. Redemption for his team has been implanted in his team's mind all week.
Ready! Ah!
Play smart, man. Go play ball. Let it all hang out. Play smart, take care of each other, man, and ball out.
The Patriots have a number of playmakers on the team. Quarterback Edwin Rhodes has talent around him at receiver and at running back, including freshman Mark Fletcher has game-breaking ability. For the Chiefs, junior Brody Palhegi is the distributor. His main target is senior Troy Stellato, who was blown up on the recruiting circuit thanks to his blazing speed and sure hands. To no one's surprise, Clemson is on hand to see why Ohio State and Alabama have offered number 10 a spot on their roster in the next 4 years. The Patriots finally broke through when Rhodes finds junior Oronde Gadsden for the touchdown. 7-0 Patriots. Heritage wasted little time getting a second score when Rhodes found freshman Jacoby Spells for the touchdown. 14-0. Gibbons wasn't going down quietly. Palhegi hit up the secondary for a pair of touchdowns. First, it was Majon Wright for 8 yards. Then, it was Jackson Mersail's chance to make a play.
You see when we do what we do? You went right down the field, shoved it down their throat in a run, quarterback makes a play, receivers catch the ball. That's what we do.
Rhodes answered in the fourth with a 14-yard touchdown to Douglas Emilian, makes the score 21-14. With hopes thinning on the Gibbons sideline, Antonio Spencer made the crowd believers again. The determination as he broke into the open. Spencer took the kickoff back 98 yards, racing Heritage defenders to the goal line, tying the score at 21-21. Time for one last drive. Heritage's Rhodes marched the Patriots downfield. Rhodes hit Jacoby Spells for the 24-yard score. The touchdown gave Rhodes his third of the half. Rhodes' play under the lights were the makings of a Patriot legend. 338 yards with 4 touchdowns and a 28-21 thriller.
Time once again for helmet stickers, and thank you once again to Rydell for providing these great helmets. And I'm going first this time, and I'm giving my helmet sticker to Ponte Vedra's A.J. Jones. Dude has had multiple touchdowns in every game this season, including in this week's win against Bartram Trail, and his second touchdown was that gorgeous hook and lateral. Great play.
Very impressive. I'm going to go Boca Ciega Chris Phillips. He had 5 touchdowns, 338 yards. Most impressive, he did it on 9 carries. Don't worry, I did the math for you. That is over 37 yards a carry. Sir, you get a helmet sticker.
And thank you for doing the math. That is all. We are out of time. Thanks so much for watching.
This has been Under the Lights, Florida High School Football Final, driven by Honda.